Before I begin, let me give you a quick 10-second truth that may surprise you. Many frozen foods that look harmless can quietly raise your blood pressure, strain your heart, weaken your joints, and even disrupt your sleep, especially after 60. While others in the same freezer aisle can actually protect your muscles, sharpen your memory, and keep you energized. Now, let me ask you something. Which frozen foods do you rely on most? And have you ever wondered whether they're helping you or quietly working against your health? Tell me in the comments because your experiences may help someone else watching this right now. I want to talk to you directly today, just you and me, as someone who truly wants to keep you strong, independent, and full of energy no matter your age. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, the choices you make in the freezer aisle can make a bigger difference than most people realize. I have seen countless patients assume frozen foods are all the same, but that's far from the truth. Some options make your body work harder, while others work with your body and make healthy aging easier. So let's walk through this together, step by step, without fear and without judgment. I know many of you choose frozen foods for convenience, budget, and simplicity, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, frozen foods can be lifesavers, but I want to help you tell the difference between the items that hurt your health and the ones that support it, especially when you're over 60 and your body needs consistency, balance, and smarter nutrition. Part 1. Let me start with the first frozen food you should never touch after 60. Frozen fried chicken meals. These boxes look tempting, crispy, golden, comforting. But the amount of sodium alone can push your blood pressure higher than you realize. Your heart has to work harder, your arteries tighten, and in the long run, this constant strain affects your energy, your stamina, and even your sleep. I've watched patients feel heavy, swollen, or tired for days after eating a single high-sodium frozen dinner. You might think, but it's just one meal. And I understand that thought completely. But frozen fried chicken is usually packed with trans fats, oils that were heated over and over, and breading that adds both calories and inflammation. If you've ever felt joint stiffness the next morning without knowing why, foods like these are often the hidden reason. The second frozen food you should avoid is frozen breakfast sandwiches. I know they seem quick and harmless, but the combination of processed meat, refined bread, and heavy saturated fat is tough on your arteries. Over 60, your circulation simply doesn't tolerate these spikes as easily. These sandwiches give you a fast calorie dump without giving your body meaningful nutrition, and that leads to mid-morning crashes many seniors think are just aging. Have you ever had a morning where you felt foggy or unusually tired? Sometimes it's not age, and it's breakfast. When you swap processed frozen breakfasts for whole food options, the difference in mood and clarity can be noticeable within days. I have seen people regain steady energy they thought they'd lost forever. The third frozen item to stay away from is frozen pizza, especially the heavily topped ones with extra cheese and processed sausage. These pizzas are full of high salt sauces, artificial preservatives, and refined dough. The combination can raise inflammation, lead to bloating, and leave you feeling sluggish. Many seniors experience digestive discomfort after eating these and blame their stomach, not the pizza. Now, I'm not telling you never to enjoy your favorite foods. You deserve pleasure and balance, but I want you to recognize which items drain your body instead of supporting it. If you want pizza, there are healthier frozen versions we'll talk about later. But the classic ultra-processed ones? Your heart and joints will thank you for leaving them behind. The fourth frozen food you should avoid is frozen pot pies. I know they remind many people of childhood, warmth, and comfort. But one pie can contain a day's worth of sodium, a heavy dose of saturated fat, and ingredients that spike inflammation. If you've ever stood up after sitting for a while and felt your knees protest, these foods might be part of the reason. So, those are the four worst offenders. And don't worry, we're not stopping at avoid this because that helps no one. Now we move into the good part. The frozen foods you should absolutely keep eating, especially if you want stable energy, strong muscles, better digestion, and steady brain function as you age. Part 2. The first frozen food you absolutely should eat is frozen mixed vegetables. Let me tell you something that surprises a lot of people. Frozen vegetables are often more nutritious than fresh ones. The reason is simple. They're picked and frozen at peak ripeness. When you're over 60, fiber, antioxidants, and vitamins are your body's best allies for keeping digestion smooth, fighting inflammation, and supporting immunity. I tell my patients to keep at least 2 or 3 bags of frozen veggies in the freezer at all times. They're versatile, they heat quickly, and they make it so much easier to stay consistent with healthy eating. And consistency is the real secret to aging well, not perfection. The second frozen food you should eat regularly is frozen berries. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. These are powerful for your brain and your heart. They contain anthocyanins, which help protect memory and improve circulation. Many seniors tell me they feel clearer and more focused when they add berries to oatmeal or smoothies. I love frozen berries because they don't spoil quickly. They're budget friendly and they add natural sweetness without added sugar. If you've been trying to cut back on sugary desserts, berries can deeply satisfy cravings while giving your body something nourishing. The third frozen food you want in your freezer is frozen salmon or other wild-caught fish. These are excellent sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which help support heart health, reduce inflammation, and maintain joint mobility. Many people over 60 deal with stiffness, especially in the morning, and omega-3s can make a noticeable difference when eaten consistently. If you're someone who avoids cooking fish because you're afraid of messing it up, frozen portions make it incredibly easy. And honestly, you don't have to be a chef. A little lemon, a little olive oil, and your body will thank you for days. The fourth frozen food to embrace is frozen spinach. Spinach packs iron, folate, and vitamin K, all important for bone strength, muscle function, and circulation. And frozen spinach blends beautifully into soups, eggs, and smoothies. One quick habit I recommend is adding a handful of frozen spinach to any dish where it will melt in naturally. This small change alone can boost your nutrient intake with almost zero effort. Sometimes the simplest habits are the most powerful. The fifth frozen food you should keep around is frozen cooked quinoa or brown rice blends. Now, I know many of you don't enjoy cooking grains from scratch because they take too long or turn out mushy. But frozen versions are perfectly portioned, quick, and much easier to digest than heavy pasta or white rice. Grains like quinoa support stable blood sugar, provide essential amino acids, and help keep your energy steady through the day. If you've ever struggled with afternoon fatigue, this swap can help more than you expect. The sixth frozen option that supports healthy aging is frozen whole grain waffles. Yes, waffles, but the right kind. Many people assume waffles are a junk food, but whole grain versions give you fiber, stable energy, and better digestion. The key is to top them with fruit instead of sugary syrups. A patient once told me this change made her mornings feel light instead of heavy. Sometimes healthy eating isn't about giving up comfort, it's about upgrading it. And the seventh frozen food you should absolutely include is frozen soups made with whole ingredients. Not the creamy, heavy, salty varieties. I mean soups based on vegetables, legumes, and lean proteins. These are gentle on your digestion, easy on your heart, and perfect for days when cooking feels overwhelming. If you've ever skipped meals because you didn't want to cook, these soups can prevent blood sugar crashes and help you stay nourished. One bowl can give you warmth, comfort, and balance all at the same time. Part 3. Now that you know the 4 frozen foods to avoid and the 7 to embrace, I want to share something important. Improving your health after 60 doesn't require dramatic changes. It's the daily patterns that matter, the quiet habits, the small swaps, the gentle improvements. Those are the choices that protect your heart, your mobility, your energy, and your independence. And I know making new habits isn't always easy. You might feel set in your ways, or maybe you've tried changing before and felt discouraged. But you're not alone and you're not behind. Every single healthier choice counts, even if it's just adding 1 serving of vegetables or swapping 1 processed meal for something more nourishing. Think about what you want your next 10 or 20 years to look like. More energy, better sleep, easier movement, sharper memory. Then think about how the smallest daily decisions get you there. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet. Just choose the foods that support you instead of fight against you. I've seen seniors in their 70s make small changes and regain the vitality they thought they'd lost. I've seen people in their 80s walk easier because inflammation dropped. I've seen people reclaim confidence simply by choosing foods that help them feel stronger. Age does not limit improvement, only limiting beliefs do. And sometimes the biggest change is simply becoming aware. Now that you know which frozen foods drain your energy and which ones feed your body, you can navigate the freezer aisle with confidence. You can build meals that feel comforting and nourishing at the same time. You can trust that your choices align with the future you want. So let me leave you with this. Your body is still capable of healing, strengthening, and thriving. You are not done growing. You are not done improving. You are not done choosing what supports your health and your joy. If you're ready to take simple, sustainable steps toward better health, start with your next frozen food choice. Replace 1 item from the never touch list with 1 from the must eat list this week. And if you learned something today, tell me in the comments which swap you plan to try first. Your answer might inspire someone else. You deserve to feel strong, clear, and energized at every age. And I'm here to walk with you every step of the